So what's the most lavish event that you've done? And you don't necessarily have to disclose who the company was that you're doing it for. You can if you like.
World Tech was very association-driven events, again, kind of in the commercial realm, where we were doing large trade shows and exhibitions for clients all over the globe.
Taking it in a different direction, what about the charitable component or volunteerism kind of component? Do you get those requests from your corporate clients?
Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Putman.
And I'm James Farrar. Welcome to No Tourists Allowed in the middle of a beautiful summer. How are you, Mike?
I'm great, but it is a hot summer. I think everyone in the world, at least in the U.S. and Europe, can agree. It is toasty.
Yes, sir. But we had a cold, rainy spring here in the northeast of the United States, so I'm welcoming it. I like a little heat. Speaking of heat, we have a hot guest idea, something new and different coming up uh, in just a few minutes. But before we get to that, I think we should touch base on our big luxury cruise for two giveaway.
Absolutely. So if you have not registered yet, please go to our website, notouristallowed.com. You'll find a way to register for this fantastic holiday that we're giving away. It's for two people in a luxurious balcony cabin for a cruise to Alaska, which is one of the most breathtaking, awe-inspiring trips that I've ever been on. And I think our lucky winners will certainly agree with that.
Yeah, and this is on Princess Cruises, who really is, one of the cruise lines that founded the whole Alaska cruise market. So it'll be, the top-notch experience, one of the great locations in the world, the Great Land, they call it. Just an absolutely stunning week through the Inside Passage, visiting, Ketchikan and the great Juneau, the great ports in Alaska. Just a lifetime experience. So we want you to win it. You should be telling your friends and family about it too. Please let them come get a chance to win. Go to notouristallowed.com and click on the offer on the cruise giveaway, and you'll have several different ways you can get your name entered in just by signing up for our newsletter, for example. We're doing a number of other things. You get your name entered in multiple times. The more times you win, the more times you enter your name, the better your chances are of winning.
Exactly, exactly. So we'd love to be able to give that away to you, and that giveaway will conclude at the end of our season. And speaking of season, this is the time of travel. Um, I am getting ready to depart for a bit to go to cooler climates. So I'm going to be spending some time in Scotland over the coming weeks, and I think we will be without a podcast. So please listen to some old ones that you might not have heard while we're away on holiday. But it is time for a brief respite for sure, and for me to get out of the heat. You like the heat, James, but in the South, the heat becomes a burden after we're probably I don't know 60 days of heat right now, um, and yeah, it gets a
Well,
little much.
I want everyone to be safe, but of course, you don't have to suffer through the winter like I do
That's true.
up in New York. And it's
Yeah.
the memory of winter that keeps me going through the summer. Um, so, yes, we'll miss you for a couple of weeks, but we'll be back soon with more great guests, more discussions about everything to do with travel, traveling better, and traveling more memorably, and traveling in a more authentic way, and all the things we do endeavor to help you with your travels. Um,
And
but
speaking of
yeah,
which, though, we do have a special guest that'll be coming up in just a minute. Renee Jacobs. She is the Chief Operating Officer of MGME, which is a company that handles meetings and incentives. Um, Really wonderful person, James and I know and have known for a while, and just an expert in the industry, top of her game with one of the leading companies that does this type of work in the world. So,
Yeah.
really privileged to have her today.
And a special discussion with her about what that has to do with the kind of travel we talk about here at No Tourist Allowed. So, looking forward to that. Well, Mike, and now we have a very special guest, a very interesting guest, and a good friend, Renee Jacobs, who is the Chief Operating Officer of MGME. And we're going to find out more about that company, more about Renee, and more about these initials that come after her name, HMCC. I'm going to find out what that means too.
Her
And we're
Majesty, I
so
believe.
Exactly.
and we're so pleased to have you with us, Renee. Thanks for joining No Tourist Allowed.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Mike.
So, Renee, we're going to talk about the meetings industry, sometimes called MICE, right? Meetings, incentives, uh, what conventions or conferences
Conferences.
and exhibitions.
Correct.
Oh my goodness, MICE. So we're going to talk about the cheese in a second, but uh, first we want to talk about you because you're a big cheese in the mice space. You're a recognized a leader in this space and professional, and we just want to get to know you a little bit. Mike is an expert at getting to know our guests.
I'm not going to ask you any probing questions, but Renee, tell us a little bit about your background and what got you to MGME and what you currently do.
Sure thing. Yeah. So I've been very passionate about travel and tourism since a very young age, and actually got introduced through high school, through a high school work program, to be the assistant to the president of an event planning company. And I thought, how cool. This is a company that just plans events and parties and gets to travel around the world. So I got introduced and just loved it and never looked back. So I started working at that company called the Compass Group, which was a small independent agency in New Jersey that focused a lot on life science events and got to really uh, learn the nuts and bolts of the industry at that job, and was there for 7 years while going to school and getting my degree in commercial recreation and tourism at Montclair State University. So once I got my degree, I decided to move on and focus internally with a company called the Journal of Commerce, and planned their large commercial events. Commercial events really meaning events that are sponsorship, exhibition, and registration revenue driven. And was responsible for helping them grow their international market, which was just so exciting to me. So I was there for 9 years and brought events to places like Shenzhen, China, and Antwerp, Belgium, and a lot of new, exciting destinations for me at a young age in my 20s, and helped really grow those events and expand them into different regions like Asia and Europe and other markets. So was there for quite some time, and then went to World Tech, and World Tech was very association driven events, again, kind of in the commercial realm, where we were doing large trade shows and exhibitions for clients all over the globe. And also worked a little bit on some smaller incentives and corporate events as well. And then World Tech was actually merged and then acquired with MGME, McVeigh Global Meetings and Events in 2018, which I've called home since, and have kind of worked my way up from executive vice president to COO.
Yeah, you've had a great journey, and what a fun industry and challenging industry to work in. Can you give people a little sense of the scale? I mean, MGME has, very big, very well-known clients and does everything from small uh, advisory board meetings to huge events with thousands of attendees, right?
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, so we kind of break it out into three sectors, essentially. Our life science events, which are made up of internal and external medical and pharmaceutical events for our clients. Like you said, James, a lot of ad boards, speaker programs, that kind of stuff, but also some incentive events where they're rewarding their top salespeople at some of the pharmaceutical companies. And then we've got our corporate clients, our Fortune 500 clients, where we're doing large national sales meetings, user groups, that kind of events. And then we've got our commercial division, which again is a lot of my background. And that's where we've got our association, nonprofit, and other clients that are really driven by commercial revenue streams.
And so, are these events? Are they always done where the attendees travel, or are some of these maybe at a near a corporate headquarter where people live in close proximity?
The majority of our events, people are traveling. I'd say 95% of them are destination events that move around. So a lot of times they might be annual or biannual events that are going to different destinations, and it's our job to also source and find the right venue for those groups. But for the most part, these are groups that are or events that are people are traveling to. There might be some local attendees, but most people are getting on planes or trains.
Um, so people, I think, are probably asking themselves, our loyal listeners here, why are we talking to a meeting and events professional at No Tourist Allowed? And I want to get to that in just a minute. There's actually an important point here to be made. But before we do that, I want to ask the question that I know everyone's thinking. Like, can you tell us what's the biggest event you've ever done? What's the most elaborate part of an event you've ever done? Because, people are thinking, what are these big parties like? And what are these big challenges like?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've had such an array of experience in many destinations that this is always a tough question for me because I don't even know where to start. So I try to break it down regionally. So we've done amazing events in Singapore, the Marina Bay Sands at the very famous pool, rooftop pool at the Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, which was just fabulous. That was for about 1,000 attendees. They closed down the whole pool deck for us to throw a reception, and it was during Formula One. So that was really exciting for people to be able to look down and see the track. And it was just a
Yikes.
super cool experience. So that one definitely stands out. We've done a ton of events in Europe at such special venues, like castles in Budapest or some amazing wineries in Spain that always have stuck with me because you're taking the groups outside of the venues where sometimes you're stuck for days and just letting them really experience what that destination is about, making it a little bit more of a leisure trip in ways. And
And
then done some really cool things that, are on my bucket list with groups, like fishing for piranha in the Amazon or, uh,
it's
uh,
good it wasn't the other way around.
Right.
no, no, but talk about exciting, and then getting to eat it afterwards, you don't forget that, and then, bringing a group, diving in South Korea off Jeju Island, and catching fish and being able to eat it sashimi on the boat. Like, just really, really cool stuff. So it's not even necessarily the size of the group sometimes that stand out. It's those little special moments that do make you feel more like a tourist versus being on a business trip, which, we always try to combine nicely with our groups no matter what the size. So
Yeah, fireworks and drone shows, right?
all that
So
fun stuff. Yeah.
yeah, alright. So the $64,000 question here is, since we're on No Tourists Allowed, and our ethos is about helping people travel in a more authentic way, a more memorable way, um, how can attendees travel to these conferences and conventions and even smaller meetings and get an authentic sense of place. I mean, nobody wants to travel to someplace incredibly beautiful like Spain and spend the trip in a conference room or a ballroom.
Right, right.
So, how do you, as a creative professional meeting planner, help them really feel where they are, get a sense, a peek at the culture of where they are, and have a more authentic travel experience even when they're doing business?
Many ways, but I'll start with what I think is the most obvious, and that is choosing the venue where you are going to. I mean, the nice thing is we get to source these programs for our clients, so we get to guide them to where we think they should go. And when so many of your attendees and delegates are spending the majority of time at the venue, I mean, what you really wanna do is bring them somewhere that lets them know where they are. The Raffles Hotel in Singapore, a lot of the Fairmont hotels in Canada that really make you feel like you're in that destination, like Banff or,
Yeah.
Quebec City. The Tivoli hotels in Europe, there's one in Lisbon where it's just a special hotel. The Alvear Palace in Buenos Aires, I mean, it's a palace. You know, you've got castles in Ireland or places like St. Andrew's Old Course Hotel. And even here in the US, you can pick destinations that really make you feel like you are in San Diego, where I am. The Hotel Del is, one that I always push for because you just feel like you're in San Diego. So starting with the venue is so important because not everyone gets a lot of free time on business trips, and like you said, James, they're in meeting rooms a lot of the time. So being able to at least have them experience something when they wake up and they feel like they're in a special space that is very tied to the location is important. And to even take that a step further, you can find amazing ballrooms that have been renovated that are old properties, old venues. Like, for example, Hiltons are really good at this in Europe. The Hilton in Antwerp used to be an old bazaar shopping mall, and the ballroom is just spectacular. Or the Hilton Budapest in Hungary, is in the Castle District, and it is just magnificent. So there's a lot of hotels also that have been able to incorporate the local flair and area in the meeting space.
Some
So
history. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so finding that venue is kinda like, again, kind of obvious, but if you're not gonna get out a lot, it's just nice to start with that. Um, the other one, of course, is cuisine. I mean, so critical for us as event planners to make sure we're feeding our attendees, but feeding them cuisine that they wanna eat because of where they are, regional food that is gonna make them feel like, "Wow, I can't get that at home." And there's just so many foodie experiences that you can have at meetings and events that are not just in the hotel, but of course offsite as well. We've done some amazing things like, creating food markets in Bangkok, using the pool at a hotel to make a floating market if you can't get them off the space. Visiting a local fish market in Peru to make ceviche, um, sushi making in Tokyo, truffle, class in Tuscany. I mean, there's just so many great ways to incorporate that. But even if you're at the hotel, you can try to do that. And you're really ticking off a few boxes because you're also sourcing local food, which is really important to a lot of our
Oh,
clients.
yeah.
It
When we were in Santa Fe, not only did we stay at a really cool property, but we did what a salsa making competition with a chef from the hotel and all sort of Southwest based ingredients from their kitchen garden and so on. And we even did a dine-around, which you can do not just with small events, but with even sort of mid-size events, because you can use a bunch of restaurants in the local area and break your group up into like 8 or 10 tables of 8 or 10 and have it at 10 different restaurants in Santa Fe. That worked out beautifully because it's known for their great restaurants
Yeah, we do a
there.
lot of dine-arounds for groups as large as a 1,000, really. Depending
Wow.
on the amount of restaurants or the city or destination you're in, you're able to find a lot of great options, so everyone feels like they've they've been chosen for a great restaurant. So, yeah, we do a lot of dine-arounds for sure.
I
But
don't
yeah,
think people realize that you can do things like that, even with a large group, and really visit that location.
yeah,
That's fine,
absolutely.
and that's one of the reasons is it's important when you're doing these types of events. If people try to do it themselves, and to some degree you can, but if you really bring on a professional, it makes all the difference in the world. Someone that
Oh,
has
sure.
the experience of the destination, and just has the experience to know what to do when, and how much to put on the attendees' plates, and how much free time they need. And that's something you just individuals are not going to know.
Right,
Um,
right,
so
absolutely. Yeah,
Oh, this is definitely a science and an art, you
yeah.
know? Renee, how else
yeah.
what about entertainment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so really collaborating with local vendors is a huge piece of our business and in all of the events we do, whether it's just doing something in the US or doing something abroad. We try to bring up different ways to incorporate not just the suppliers when it comes to the florists and decor, that we're using local companies, but definitely for entertainment as well. You definitely want to engage your participants in the local activities, or different ways of collaborating with people that make you again feel like you're there. Maybe it's basket weaving, that's really large in the place you are, or some great art, glass making, and off of Venice. What's that island off of Venice? We did an event there. Where
Murano?
yeah,
Yeah.
where, we, had people, work with the glass. We've done a lot of fun things where you can bring in pop-up markets to the venue, so that local artisans are able to sell their goods to your attendees, and it ticks off a few boxes. Maybe your attendees aren't gonna have time to shop, and also you're, providing that opportunity for local artisans, to
We
have
just talked to a cruise line who's taking a page from your book there. Celebrity is using a big event space that they've built into all their ships now for, bringing on a local marketplace before you come into a destination. Um, Similar idea, right?
Yeah, we've done that in, the DR, we've done that in Doha. We did a pop-up souk in the Middle East. I mean, it's a great way to allow people to experience that, which they might not have time to do. Maybe they don't feel comfortable doing on their own, with the limited time they have during an event. So bringing it to them a lot of times is a great way for them to feel like they're experiencing it, and it's authentic because it's the actual people who are selling these products in these markets. So,
So what's the most lavish event that you've done? And you don't necessarily have to disclose who the company was that you're doing it for. You can if you like, but if appropriate. But what was that experience like?
oh my goodness. The first thing that comes to mind is for an association client. We had a spectacular dinner for about 1,500 at Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi. And I don't know if you've ever seen Emirates Palace. You've got to Google it. It's now actually a Mandarin Oriental hotel. It was not at the time.
Mhm.
It is just wow factor because not only is the venue amazing, but the outdoor space where we had the dinner is overlooking, the sea, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And we had just a multitude of entertainment and different types of things like cool old classic cars set up with beautiful women, posing with you to take photos, and the walking dresses with, the champagne skirts, and aerobatics and fireworks and you name it. It
Wow.
was a multi-million-dollar event, that was only, 2 hours, but months of planning. So that was pretty special. We've done, a few really amazing gala dinners like that, throughout the globe. That have really just, yeah, resonated with me, but, not all clients have those budgets, so sometimes
Yeah.
we're trying to
Well,
create that experience with much less money.
taking it in a different direction. What about charitable component or volunteerism kind of component? Do you get those requests from your corporate clients?
Oh, we definitely do, more and more so. I mean, I'd say in the last 5 years, it's CSR has become, much more, important to our clients. CSR is corporate social responsibility activities.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are integrating these into a lot of events, especially if they've got, off-site activities that they're planning for the day that we at least are trying to offer 1 or 2 that really are focused around CSR. So that's different types of community projects or sustainability initiatives that might be local. And that could be anything from tree planting to beach cleanups, bringing school supplies to a school. Um,
Right.
the nice thing is you can, if you don't have a half day, if you don't have a full day to do these types of activities, you can do these in an hour. I mean, we've done things where you do a beach cleanup before the meeting starts, or, you set up a ballroom where you can plant trees and it just takes about an hour or 2 of your time, but your attendees walk away feeling really good. And you make you make an impact on the local community. So there's ways you can do it that aren't going to take up a lot of time either. But there are also, really cool things you can do that are half day or full day activities as well, and working with local charities. The other thing that we try to do is, events have a lot of waste. We've gotten better and better with all the sustainability initiatives and efforts our clients are making and we're making as a company. But we work with local companies to bring, all the extra notepads or delegate bags to schools and other organizations, which is also a great, easy thing to do.
Oh, and a lovely way to connect a little deeper with a place, right?
Absolutely.
And to get to know a place, to visit a school, to meet kids, to meet real people, families that live in the place. I think that that's a wonderful way to create a more authentic travel experience
Absolutely.
and also do something good.
Right.
Um, and sightseeing and things, you know, catamaran cruises or waterfall treks, or we've done some together. We went to a wildlife conservation uh, place, and we did some architectural things. So all of that can be part of a business trip too.
For sure. Absolutely. We try to get people out, to experience those depending on the type of event, of course. It might not be the right fit for everybody. But we've done some great activities and we call them destination immersion activities or sense of place, activities. So people really feel like they're ticking things off their bucket list, uh, even though they might be there for 2.5, 3 days in a destination. So
So there's really no end to it. It's really a matter of, well, as Mike said, first of all, having professionals on your side who have this knowledge, who have the contacts and the resources, have done this before, all of that.
yeah.
Quite a bit of creativity that goes into all of this. And it creates, I don't know, for me, am I the only one that gets a little surprised by this? I mean, we did a dinner together, Renee, where we were in Arizona and we had wines from Arizona. Who knew that Arizona made wines? And if you judge by how much Mike drank, they were really good wines.
Very tasty. I will agree. Very tasty. Surprisingly. Yeah.
Those are the nice little surprises you try to, put in at events for sure. You know,
So,
we
Renee, if someone wanted to get in touch with the organization, what would be the right path to go?
mgmeconnect.com. So our website has a contact us page where you can let us know what you need from us, and we'll immediately contact you to figure out how we can assist you. Also, you can find us on LinkedIn, of course, and Instagram and Facebook. But really, going to our website is going to show really all the services that we offer, a lot of case studies, so you can see kind of the types of events that we do and a lot more information just around our services. So,
Oh,
And
great.
you guys do soup to nuts,
oh
of
yeah,
course, everything from sourcing and planning all the way through to the meeting, the stage production, all of that if it's involved. But you also can support doing certain things, right? Sort of a little more surgically. If a company already has the meeting planning part taken care of, you guys have the creative services, you can pick and choose a little bit.
Yep, that's correct. Yep, we're full service. So we have a lot of clients where we do A to Z, and then we've got a lot of clients that are just a la carte. So really just depending on what you need. We do just sourcing for a lot of clients or air ticketing for groups, creative and production. So it really just depends on the needs and the budget.
And I know it's sort of a little taboo to talk about clients, specifically name clients who are active at the moment or who, haven't given permission. But I've seen in your publicity clients from the past, like Estee Lauder Company and HBO, and you know, some very very big names all the way through to, as you said, life sciences, which you were in New Jersey, so that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of the capital of life sciences, right? All the big pharmaceutical companies are there. So a lot of those. You recently did something that was publicized that I thought was so cool for Bandai Namco, the big media and gaming company. You guys did a really cool fan activation in Times Square, which is not what we think of when we think of
Yeah.
corporate meetings, but I thought that was neat.
For sure. Yeah, the gaming industry is huge and growing. So we're doing some pop-up activations like the one you mentioned, James, in Times Square for some of these companies, which is really exciting and fun. A lot of work for, just one afternoon in New York City, but it's super cool and rewarding.
Yeah. Well, a fascinating job. I think we all have job envy a little bit, Renee. So be sure to tell us how much work it is also.
Absolutely. You've gotta have logistics, you have to be passionate about details, and not
Yeah.
everybody is, so it's not the right fit for everybody, but, it's definitely a fun industry, and it's one of those that you've gotta be really passionate about, it's a love-hate, and when you're passionate about it, you're good at it. If you're not so much, you're probably not gonna last. This isn't the right industry for you.
Thanks for spending time with us, Renee. It's been
You're
really
welcome.
insightful, and I know our listeners have enjoyed learning from you and getting to hear a few of your stories. So thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Renee.
Alright. Bye-bye.
Well, that was some great info from Renee. What a seasoned veteran, and really enjoyed hearing about her expertise and all the marvelous events she's been involved with all over the world, and how she's able to stick to our ethos, intentionally or unintentionally, of creating unique, authentic experiences in destination for the people that attends the who attend the events that she puts together.
Yeah,
So,
I loved hearing her ideas and her experience, and sort of makes your mouth water a little bit to get out there and travel, which is what Mike and I are going to be doing.
that's right, and have been doing. It's
Hmm.
been a busy year. So, but look forward for a little bit of downtime. But as always, we appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate you guys sharing the podcast with your friends and families. Don't forget to go to notouristallowed.com and register for that fantastic giveaway that we're providing. And we'll look forward to seeing you in 3 or 4 weeks' time with our next podcast. But
Yeah.
until then, I'm signing off.
Oh, Mike,
Travel
before you
safe.
go,
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to tell you about my trip to Pebble Beach in California, one of the great golf courses and golf resorts in this country. And you know, the fact that I got to be at Pebble Beach, stellar golfer that I am,
yes.
you know,
It's
I don't golf at all, so really it was a terrible waste.
it was,
Such but, Pebble Beach and the, inn at Spanish Bay, which where I stayed, which is on the coast, the golf course right on the coast on the rocks, over the ocean, one of the great coastlines in the United States, just stunningly beautiful, right next to beautiful city Carmel and Monterey. So just a really special place. And I flew into San Francisco and did the 2-hour drive down to Pebble Beach in a convertible car along the coast. Just a spectacular day also. So great trip. I wish you would have been with me, Mike. You would have made much better use of it than I did.
Yeah, I should have been there in your place because I would have been it would have been more appropriate for me to be there, I think, in Pebble Beach than you. But glad you had a good time.
I did. I did. All right, guys. Great to talk with you again. And as Mike said, signing off for a couple of weeks. Looking forward to seeing you back here. Don't forget about us, right? Go back, listen to old episodes that you might have missed, and then be here with us when we come back live in just a few weeks. Thank you so much for listening in on No Tourists Allowed.